Hi, I'm Eric Moore. I'm an electrical engineering student at Georgia Tech, and this is my instrument for music 8903 musical acoustics. This is my instrument. As you can see, it is a string instrument with a resonance box, a resonance chamber. Its primary motivation came from the idea to make it easier to tune a string instrument through the use of strategic geometry. The idea I came up with is to use triangles in order to create intervals. As you can see, one tuning peg, or the string follows from the middle, goes around this peg, around one of the outside pegs, the top peg, and then returns back to the tuning knob. As you all know, or if you don't, the frequency of the first harmonic of a string is dependent only on the tension of this string, the unit mass of a string, or what it's made out of, and the distance in which it's being held between 2 points. So in this case, having one triangle, one string connecting the 3 sides of one triangle, all 3 sides, in theory, would create an interval only dependent on the length of the sides, since the tension is going to be the same and it is made out of the same string. So the idea we had here is to tune all 6 strings in the middle, or 3 strings on one side, to the same root note of a just whole scale, and have one triangle produce the 6th and 3rd, and the next triangle produce the 4th and 5th, and the last triangle sound out the 2nd and 7th. So if in theory this should be, based on the distance calculated and measured out, this should be a whole scale. And the other side is tuned with a lighter string to the C5, I believe, when the right side is tuned to C4, so it's 1 octave higher. We'll play the scale on this side. So, if you have a musical ear, or even if you do not, you probably heard that the intervals are not perfect. In fact, a lot of the intervals are quite a bit off. After messing around with some things and trying some different approaches, finally came to the conclusion that the frequency differences is due to the friction between the aluminum pegs and the steel strings. And this does not allow an equal tension to be distributed across each triangle evenly. So when tuning, you might have one string be higher than it's supposed to be, while another side of the triangle be lower. And if the friction holds the tension in one segment of the string, the equal intervals that is wanted cannot be produced. I've tried a few things to alleviate this. I've tried sanding down these aluminum pegs, tried grease, tried some graphite, and what you just heard is the best I could get it. And although it's not a whole scale, I do find its timbre to be quite interesting and something I've never heard before. The box itself is made from 3, you can see this 3/4 high density fiber wood. Creates the main chamber, use wood glue to insulate it from acoustical leaks, and I also use this 3/16 inch more top board. It's a little bit less sturdy, but it looks a little bit nicer, and kind of gives it a more cohesive look. These aluminum pegs are 5 inches long. They extend through this top piece, which is just the 3/4 inch plywood, and I'll go all the way through the bottom section of the high density fiber, but however are held in place by another 3/16 inch plywood at the bottom, which does not have the holes in it. These aluminum pegs are not glued, fastened, or any way, shape, or form held into place, so that in itself adds an interesting acoustic quality as the vibrations move through the aluminum peg into the chamber and resonate inside the box itself. An interesting thing about this particular design is that the tops and bottoms of the triangles actually produce a triad, theoretically. The second, fourth, sixth, and third, fifth, seventh. So that's an interesting quality. I'll play it on the left side. Then we go through them all. That one's not quite as good sounding. Get that triad. And that one sounds pretty good. The hole in the center to provide resonance amplification is calculated using a Helmholtz equation and is attempted to be calculated to match have the first harmonic of the box be on the low octave and the second harmonic be on the high octave. And that is calculated based on the area of the opening, the depth of the top board, the volume of inside the board,